Chapter 3, The Invincible Tubba Blubba. Like every other chapter, we start with a Princess Peach POV. Bowser is trying to woo Peach, but he's failing miserably. But he's like, I got an ace in my sleeve to stop Mario, then you'll love me. So with the help of Twink, Peach decides to investigate this new guy called Tubba Blubba, because he's apparently invincible. We're gonna see if he has a weakness. Does he? Well, he probably does. This time we have more access to the castle here. We gotta be watch out for all the spotlights from these troopers hanging around. Though we can't explore, the only really area we can go to is this library here. We have to do some basic stealth mechanics. It's pretty basic, pretty easy, so nothing too hard here. Though keep in mind, though, there's one room where you can put in stuff into his chest and give it to Mario in the overworld. So if you find any badges in this area, you can put it in here, so keep that in mind, alright? It's gonna come and help. It's gonna help you out. Anyway, we find these two guys talking to each other about Tubba Blubba. Well, these guys do give away that Tubba Blubba does have a secret past that makes him that he's not that strong. They don't give away that much before they realize that Princess Peach is there, watching them goof off, so they put her back into her room. Anyway, back to Mario. We see that Mario's on his way back, and of course, like always, you have to go travel back for the areas you come through. But, remember last episode where I mentioned this buzzard here? Well, he remembers us. So this time he's going to know that we're Mario. We can't go past him a second time, but here we go. Let's fight him. This is Bazaar, who is the guard of Mount Rigid, but at this point we've got more XP, so he's really not that strong anyway. He's got a couple HP and really nothing else. One of his main attacks is he'll try to drag you up into the air, but you just mash the A button. It's pretty similar to the running animation, so it's pretty basic. Even though he has a lot of HP, like 40 HP, it's pretty much a lot for this type of sub-boss, but he goes down pretty easy. And with that, we can head back to Toad Town. So let's make a couple pit stops just to explain some more elements of the game. In the area in Princess Peach's castle, with all the stars falling down, if we go to the right, we can find this little area which has the chest which Princess Peach puts stuff in. So if we need badges from there, we can get it there. Pretty nice. And if you go upstairs, this person here will trade you badges for star pieces. This is the main use of star pieces, so if you want any of these unique badges, then come up here. While this house isn't necessary for the main part of the game, it's just side stuff. It is very useful if you want more extra goodies, so I recommend go checking this place out if you want extra stuff. Some additional side stuff we can do is we can go back to the sewer because we now have another upgrade to go for certain areas, like this one over here. There is another blooper to fight who's pretty much the same as the last time. He's a little stronger. He's Electro Blooper, so he's a little stronger, but really nothing much. It's really up to you if you really want to fight this guy. You can go back here later if you want, but it's up to you. Anyway, this will open up to 3 different blue pipes here. Each one will transport you to a different location you have already been, which is nice for fast travel. Especially if you decide to do the side quest of delivering mail to all the people that you find along the way with Parakarry. There's quite a lot, and it's really up to you. It's pretty much a lot of content if you want to do that, but I decided not to. But, you know, it's fine. You just get more stuff to do. Once you're ready to head to the next chapter properly, you go down south, and then go to the right here, and you find a Toad screaming for his life. This is a guard Toad who is scared of ghosts. He's guarding a spooky forest, but he's scared of ghosts. Yeah, don't ask why. So let's go check it out for him and go to the right. When going here, we see a ghostly Boo Butler who wants Mario for something, and he has to go find the mansion in the middle of the forest. This takes us to the Forever Forest, which is a very interesting area. It's a maze area where you have to find the right pathway based off clues. Like the bush is shaking, you know to go down because it's going to take you to the right area. And they're pretty annoying to dodge and get first strike on because of the fact they're jumping everywhere in the overworld. Fuck them. Other than those enemies, I actually do like this area quite a bit because it's pretty fun at figuring out which way you're supposed to go by using little clues and stuff like that. It's actually very well designed, and I like it a lot. But hey, there's other enemies other than fuzzies, like the classic Piranha Plant, who, you know, they don't really do much. You can just hit them usually. They just pop out of the ground, and that's about it. They're not really special. Eventually, you'll find the right path and be introduced to the spooky mansion that we were told to go to. In the mansion, we've got puzzles to solve. We gotta go to the highest room in the mansion, but it's not accessible. We have to do things like jump onto a chandelier from a couch cushion in order to do this. And every door you go into, you don't know what you're gonna find. There's ghosts around every corner, but they're not there to attack you. They're just there to spook you, because I guess ghosts like to fuck you. Not fuck you, fuck with you. But hey, you can turn into a pixelated Mario jumping in this pot. That's neat. And if you go to check on the fire, you explode, because of course you do. Anyway, what you need to do is find this bedroom, and there's going to be cupboards full of booze. They're going to want to play a game with you where you have to find which of them has the record. It's one of those memory games, so the only thing that makes it difficult is that moving even after you're done watching them, so that's something. But it's pretty easy, unless you have a bad memory. I'm going to take this record to this phonograph over here, obviously. But you can't just play it, you actually have to do a mini-game, right, to press it in rhythm in order to get just the right speed. After all, this is a phonograph, and this phonograph will make this Boo want to dance. Which is good for us since we actually need him to get away from the treasure chest, which has a weight in it. And once we have that weight, we can use it to weigh down this chandelier so we can keep that door open, because if we don't, the door will close. And once in this door, you find a chest, which has another chandelier just there to scare us, because of course it does. This leads us to a basement area with a giant chest, and can you guess what's inside it? Why, of course, it's Ghost. Or should I say Boos, because Boos aren't really good. They're ghosts, but they're a special type of ghost. They're Boos. It's the same game as before, but this time they're hiding a boot. But this is not just any type of boot. This is the Super Boots, which allows Mario to do a brand new attack. If you see any of these wooden crates in the bottom there, we can do another jump, which allows Mario to do his traditional ground pound, which is pretty great, and also be used during battles, obviously. And that will take us to a storage room, which we'll have to take on this giant piece, which is our new ability. We can also use this new ability to go back upstairs and use it to get to top of this library bookshelf here, which allows us to find this little Boo portrait and place it back in its rightful spot right here. Then finally we made it to the upper staircase. We get to see the owner of this mansion. Why, it's Lady Bo, of course. Get it, Bo? Boo? Ha ha ha. That's her bootler. They tell us of their predicament about this guy called Tubba Blubba, you might have heard of him, who owns a castle, who's been eating ghosts, and that's not good for their ghost kind, because for obvious reasons. In order to convince us to help out, they showcase that, yeah, they've got the Star Spirit. Not even Bowser has it, the fucking Boos do. It's hilarious. And Lady Bo decides that she's going to help out personally, even though she's asking Mario to do this, and her bootler's not happy because, of course, he doesn't want her to get hurt. And thus, we've got a brand new partner who's also trying to blackmail us, but don't worry. She joined the party like it or not. Yes, this is Lady Bo, who is actually my favorite partner in the game for reasons we'll get into. One, she's a pretty fun character, obviously. A lot of the other characters don't have that much personality to them partner-wise in this game compared to the second one, but that's alright. Doesn't matter too much, but she's got a lot of feist. She's Feisty Ghost. Well, in battle, she has two abilities. One's a smack, which is pretty easy to maximize, just hitting the left stick over and over again, which does multiple damage, which is fun to use. The only problem is it doesn't do much to enemies with defense, but other than that, it's really great. Her other ability, which you can use in the overworld, is the fact she can make Mario invisible, which is pretty cool. This could also be used in battle, and in battle, it requires no cost rather than 2 FP points, which is pretty useful, and it causes the enemies to entirely miss hitting Mario. That's super broken. So yeah, Bo is the best partner in the game, don't at me. Anyway, back to our adventure, we're going to Gusty Gulch to find Tubba Blubba to see if we can stop his rampage on Boo Kind. On the way there, we meet a new enemy type, which is just a green Goomba, known as the Hyper Goomba, who are apparently crazy. It's just a Goomba. It doesn't have a lot going on for it, really. And of course, these guys come in the flying variety. Other than a charge attack, these guys are pretty easy. They just charge occasionally, but it's easy to stop, plus they don't have very high HP, so yeah, they're going down to the ground. Once we're past that small section, we get to see a town full of Boos who are all very scared of Tubba Blubba. I also love this town design. It's all beat up and like deserty, but also kind of like a spooky forest. It's a very unique look. Did I mention this might be my favorite chapter in the game? I'm not sure, or maybe it is. I actually don't really know. Anyway, during the visit here, we actually do see the Tubba Blubba. Everyone's scared of him. And this guy does have presence. He looks fucking weird as shit. And this ghost forgets to hide like the other ones, and Tubba Blubba, of course, eats him. You know, it's quite the presence. He literally just puts him in his fucking mouth. Anyway, let's keep going. We also find a new enemy type while we're also going along. This little green fucker we've seen before. The Hyper Cleft. It's like a cleft, but hyper, so fuck him. There actually isn't too much to Gusty Gulch here. It's mostly just the same type of Goombas and clefts there that we've fought before, but green and hypers, they just charge up. The rest of it is pretty basic. Not really any platforming challenges. It's a couple blocks here and there. So yeah, it's pretty basic. And soon enough, we'll get to the castle. This beat up thing is Gusty Gulch's castle, where Tubba Blubba is. Inside we find these weird UFOs, and if we don't have Lady Bo here, Mario will be captured by them and sent outside, which is not cool. Yes, this dungeon is pretty unique, as it's more of a stealth dungeon than anything else, and that makes it pretty fun to play, actually. Inside, we see that everything in this house is oversized because of how big Tubba Blubba is, which is actually pretty funny. And he has all sorts of guards hanging around every corner, which are actually pretty tough. This is a Clubba. The name's for Clubba. And yeah, they have a very high attack power. So yeah, that's very annoying to deal with. So keep in mind, if you can fight them, but they're not the best ones to fight at this point in the game, but it's up to you. While here, we have to make sure we're going slowly past these guys, because if we're running, they will notice us and their bubbles will pop. So make sure you're doing that, because these guys, like I said, they're a little challenging, I won't lie. After trying for the left side, we can go to the right side, which is a locked door. And using that locked door, we can get closer to Tubba. This right side also has more UFOs trying to catch us, so keep in mind you're going to need Lady Bow. Not that you would not be using her, because she's great, I love her. This castle's crazy. There's a whole room full of spikes that you actually can dodge by becoming invisible. I'm not sure that's how that actually works, but you know what, we're not going to question it, alright? We need to go here because the castle key's here, in case you're wondering. Anyway, once you make it up the top, we actually will come across Tubba here. We're not really supposed to attack, but if you do decide to attack, we can discover that this guy is invincible in this state. You cannot do any damage to him. So the best course of action here is to just run the hell away. So what you mean to do is, once you get into this area, we go up, and then we make ourselves invisible. In order to get past him, because we're going to need to find out his secret, not to fight him right now. We'll fight him later. In order to do that, we need to go past these sleeping Blubbas in order to find another castle key. Here, we'll go find his bedroom once we go past him and find the key to his bedroom. But luckily for us, he decides just to go to the F to sleep, so we don't have to worry about him. In this chest here, we find a little key, who is a talking key, whose name is Yaki. Yaki, funny. The key is for some reason faithful to Tubba, and it gives away its secret, by the way. The key reveals it's unlocking a mill back in the Gusty Gulch, and it says, do you know this? And you can either lie or tell the truth. Either way, the key will just give away your position anyway. With this, Tubba will wake up, but he's a little slow, so we can run the hell away from him. But eventually he'll get to us, and he'll try to crush down his own castle just to stop us. It's insane. This part is crazy. With the rumble and the music, this is one of the most tense parts of any Mario game I played, because if you remember earlier, we can't fight this guy, so we have to run the hell away from him. And it is nerve-wracking. While this is going on, the Boos decide they're actually going to help Lady Bow, but they chose the worst opportunity to do so, because they actually do help, though, because they're holding the door back, as Mario is going to find where his Tubba secret is. The windmill is pretty obvious to find. It's right here, obviously, in Gusty Gulch. If you can't find it, then you must have some issues with your eyesight, unless you're blind, then I'm sorry. Inside, there's nothing but those Hyper Goombas, which aren't very tough, so nothing really dangerous here. The sign outside the door says absolutely no entry allowed, but we're going to ignore that sign and go in anyway. Inside we find a heart, which is very interesting. A talking heart, even though it has no mouth. This heart, if you couldn't guess, is actually Tubba. So Tubba is controlling its old body as a corpse heart from a mile away, which is why he has an infinite amount of defense. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, now it's time to fight Tubba's heart, which is just a heart, so it's really not difficult at all. Tubba, you got a little heart there, huh? It will try to do an attack against Mario, which is shoot a bunch of hearts at it, and yeah, that's about it. It has to charge that up, so it's not a very good attack. So yeah, Tubba was part 1 of his boss fight, in case you're wondering, it's just part 1. It's pretty easy. And once it's down to low HP, it will try to run out of there because the heart's a wuss. Though I'm surprised it can even jump that far. It must be one beating heart. The heart decides it wants to reunite with its body, so it jumps right back in and Tubba eats it. But that means he's no longer invincible, so that's a really bad sign for him. But luckily, we're ready to fight him. This time for real. So Tubba does hit a little hard. His defense is a little higher, but not really. He has pretty low HP, if you couldn't tell there. So yeah, he's actually pretty easy to take down. In fact, we're going to actually take him down in 2 hits, which is actually pretty funny. So much for being invincible, Blubba. With that, Tubba cries like a bitch because, you know, he's lame now. Since Tubba fails so miserably, he decides he's going to get back all the ghosts, which apparently he can just spit them back up. Okay, don't question it, alright? According to him, he's a really sensitive guy trapped in a huge body. And with that, Lady Bow decides that she wants to help Mario for our whole journey because he had a lot of fun, and she's going to give us the Star Spirit, which is exactly what we need. And with that, we're given our next Star Spirit, and you know what that means. End of chapter! And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next chapter and my other videos, and thank you for watching. Subscribe for more.